All right, notes for multiplying and dividing integers. And again, another example of where your multiplication tables are really, really important, so keep practicing them if you need to. If multiplying or dividing numbers with the same, if you're multiplying or dividing numbers with the same sign, the result is always positive. If you're multiplying or dividing numbers with different signs, the result will always be negative. Excuse me. So, same sign, positive. Different signs, negative. And this is when you're multiplying or dividing two integers, okay? 8 times 7, of course, would be 56. Negative 8 times negative 5, two same sign numbers, so positive 40. Excuse me. Negative 10 divided by negative 2, two same sign numbers, so it's going to be a positive answer, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. 20 divided by 4, positive 5, two positive numbers, so same sign, positive answer. Negative 8 times 7 is still 56, but it's negative this time because there are two different signs. 8 times negative 5, this one would be negative 40 because there are two signed numbers, two different signed numbers. 10 divided by 2, this time would be a negative 5, and negative 20 divided by 4 would be a negative 5. All right, and again, I'm not going to go through the times tables ourselves. Keep practicing those. They get easier and easier, and then they're yours forever. Now, multiplying by 0, any number times 0 is always going to be 0. The example that they have here, negative 8 times 0 would be 0. But it would be the same for a positive 8 times 0. It doesn't have anything to do with the sign. Any number multiplied by 0 is 0. Division by 0. Oh, sorry. Division by 0. A 0 divided by a non-zero number is 0, and a non-zero number divided by 0 is undefined. We actually saw this earlier, but now I guess it's being formally introduced. 0 divided by any number is always going to be 0, and if the 0 is underneath, it's undefined, as we saw in a previous video. Now, real quick, again, if you have two same signed numbers, we're going to get positive answers. If you have two different signs, we get negative answers. So let's try these. 8 times 9 is 72, and it's going to be positive because both numbers are positive. One negative number times one positive number. 8 times 11 is 88, and because it's different signs, we're going to keep a negative answer. 7 times 11 is 77, and because they're two different signed numbers, the answer is negative 77. Remember, same sign. This is for multiplication or division. We get a positive answer. Two signs, two different signs, we're going to get a negative answer. Let's keep going. Excuse me. Negative 8 times negative 10, two negative numbers, same sign, so the answer will be positive 80. 18 divided by 2 is 9, and because it's two of the same sign, it's a positive answer. Negative 14 divided by 0 can also be written as negative 14 over 0. If the 0 is underneath, the answer is undefined. 20 divided by negative 2, and again, it can be written this way if it's easier to look at. 20 divided by 2 is 10, and the answer is going to be negative. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the arithmetic because we've already gone over that. And again, part of it is knowing those times tables. 30 divided by 6 is 5, and because we've got the same signs, positive 5. 0 divided by 6, that's one of our definitions. 0 divided by any number is 0. Negative 11 times 54. Well, now we're multiplying larger numbers. 54 times 11, I'm going to put the smaller one on the bottom. I'm going to multiply, but let's start off by just saying, what is the answer going to be? A negative times a positive. I know I'm going to get a negative answer. Now let's find it. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. Because now I'm finished with that, guys, so I move over to the tens digits that I'm distributing. Because it is the tens digit, I need a placeholder for the 0. I'm sorry, for the ones digit. Now, 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. And add. Add the ones digits, add the tens digits, add the hundreds digits. My answer is negative 594. Excuse me. All right, next one, I'm going to multiply 23 times 15. They're being multiplied. That's another way we can see multiplication. I'm going to multiply those together. Now, first of all, though, is the answer going to be positive or negative? Two negative numbers, same sign, positive answer. Now that I know what the answer is going to be, let's find it. 5 times 3 is 15. Bring down the 5, carry the 1. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 more is 11. Scoot over. Remember, you're going to need that 0 as a placeholder. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. And add the ones digits, the tens digits, and the hundreds digits. And because it's two of the same sign, our answer is positive. Excuse me. Now division. I'm dividing a negative number by a positive number, so I know my answer is going to be negative. Two different signs, negative answer. We're dividing 888 by 37. I'm going to get off in the margin if I need to, and I'm going to do 37 times 2, 37 times 3 until I find what goes into it. This one happens to be twice. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. Subtract. 8 minus 4 is 4, and 8 minus 7 is 1. Bring down the rest of the number. 37 does not go into 1. Doesn't go into 14, so I'm going to have to use all 3 digits this time. 37, and I start playing with it on my, in the margin. 37 times 3, 37 times 4. When I do 37 times 4, I happen to get 148. 4 times 7 is 28. Bring down the 8, carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 more is 14, and subtract. Everything cancels and we get 0 as our remainder. And here's my answer. I know it's negative because it was a negative divided by a positive. Let's keep going. Now, new rule here. Or not a new rule, just an extension. When you only are multiplying or dividing two numbers, it's pretty easy. Two of the same, positive answer. Two different, negative answer. But what if I have 3? Well, let's build it. If I multiply these two together first, I'm going to end up with negative 4 times negative 2. That's 2 of the same number. That's an 8 times negative 3. Now I have two numbers that are different signs, so my final answer will be negative. 8 times 3 is 24. Another way I like to think about it, if I'm multiplying a string of numbers and I have 3 of them, when you have an odd number of negatives, you're going to get a negative answer. If you have an even number of negatives, you're going to get a positive answer. And if you have an odd number of negatives, negative answer. If you have an even number of negatives, positive. And this is what I'm talking about here. I have 1 negative number, 2 negative numbers, 3. Got a negative answer. Look at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to multiply the first 2 together, and I'm going to multiply the second 2 together, and then multiply those. A negative 2 times a negative 2 is a positive 4. Then I'm going to multiply that by negative 2 times negative 2, which is a positive 4. Why? 2 negatives, so they multiply out to be a positive. Now I have a positive times a positive, which will be 16. Let's keep going. This one's really nice. If you're multiplying 3 numbers together and any of them are 0, the answer is 0. All right, 2 more questions. The first one, From sea level, a submarine descends 36 feet per minute. So let's see, it's going to go down 36 feet per second. So per minute. Every minute it goes down 36. Every minute it goes down 36. I want everybody to visualize what that's saying. Where is the submarine in relation to sea level 4 minutes after it starts descending? So I kind of drew 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And I don't want you to have to draw it. I want you to think about it. That's going to mean 36 for every minute. If there's 4 minutes, I'm going to multiply by 4. But descending means it's going down 36, doesn't it? So that's where that negative comes into play. From sea level. So this is like 0. And every time that submarine goes a little further, it's going down, implying a negative 36. When I multiply those two together, and I'm not going to show all that because they're going to get close to time, it's going to go down 144. And you can check that by adding those together if you want to. But I want you to get to the point where you understand that negative 36 is the distance it's going down every minute. I need 4 of those minutes. So I get negative 144 feet below sea level. Let's look at number 17. The Grand Canyon is 1,525 feet deep. Okay. If it takes John 5 hours to hike from the rim to the bottom, how many meters does he descend per hour? Okay, so let's pretend that from here to here, this is the top and this is the bottom of the Grand Canyon. And it is 1,525. It takes him 5 hours. So if I were to break this up into 5 pieces, each one of these little chunks is 1 hour. They're trying to ask us, how much does he hike every hour? Well, if it's 5 hours, and I want to know, what does that mean for each hour? It's a division problem, isn't it? But again, he runs from the top, from the rim to the bottom. So descending. So he's going down. So that means by the time he gets from the top to the bottom, he will have run 1,525 meters. But I want to know how much he does per hour. So I'm going to divide it by the 5 hours. And again, I'm not going to show the arithmetic, but every hour he is descending, right? Because after I do the division, 305 meters per hour. I think I wrote that wrong. Meters per hour. Okay, I'll see you in the next lesson.